All right, so looking at graphing circles, how do we graph a circle and what is a circle? So a circle by definition is the set of all points that's equidistant from a point called the center, okay? And if we have a point on the circle and the center, we can calculate the radius using the distance formula, all right? So that's this part. Distance between the center and any point on the circle is called the radius. And remember, all the way across the circle is called the diameter. So on your notes, you have a couple boxes, and this is what you want to write in your boxes. We have the form on the left here, where it's just x squared plus y squared equals r squared. Center is 0, 0, radius is r. So note in the form that we have r squared normally. So in order to get from r squared to r, we're going to have to square root that, okay? So in the second form of it, that's where you're listed with an h and a k. That one is shifted from 0, 0. It's translated. Okay, so the center is hk. You're going to want to flip that h when you bring it out here, and you're going to flip that k when you bring it out here. And again, r squared, we take that and square root it to get to our radius. Okay? So let's look at an equation of a circle, and let's try to graph it. Okay, so we want to identify the center. All right, center, and we want to identify the radius before we graph it. So there is no h or k, so our center is just 0, 0. All right, and our radius, we got to figure that out. Well, we have 9/4 in here, so that's my r squared. Okay, in order to get my radius, we're going to have to square root that. So the square root of 9/4 is 3/2, or 1.5. All right, so my radius, 3/2, or 1.5, however you want to write it. Either one's fine. For the purpose of graphing, 1.5 is probably a little bit easier to do. So to graph a circle, you just start at the center, which we indicated already was 0, 0. So draw a point for the center, and then we go 1.5 in each of the directions. Positive x, positive y, negative y. And then we're just going to try as hard as we can to get a nice circle there. And that's it. Okay? If we wanted to do domain and range, we just look at this. So we're going from here to here. So domain is from negative 1.5 to 1.5. And range is the same thing. Okay? Because we're going from those 1.5s to negative 1.5s. So if it asks for domain and range, you can write domain and range. Otherwise, you probably don't need it. Okay, let's try one more example here. Now, this doesn't necessarily look like a circle, but we have to make it look like a circle by doing a little bit of manipulation here. So we kind of see that circle format in the numerator there. 2 is the problem, the denominator. So we can actually scale this entire equation by 2, okay, and you're distributing that to each of the fractions here. And that's going to cancel out my 2's in the bottom and turn this into an 8. So our actual equation of the circle is x minus 3 squared plus y plus 2 squared equals 8. And from there, that's where you want to figure out your radius and your center. So the center is 3, negative 2. So remember, we take the h and we take the k, and you're going to flip those when you bring them out. And our radius is square root of 8. Or we can simplify that to 2 square root 2. And if we want a decimal for graphing, it's around 2.8. Okay? So we start by plotting our center. And then we go 2.8 in all directions again. Okay? And then we're just going to try to draw a circle. And as easy as that. Okay? So center is 3, negative 2. Radius is 2.8. And there's our circle. So not too bad. Some other questions you might run into would be something like this. So it says the point 2, negative 5 lies on a circle whose center is the origin. Find the equation of the circle. So center is the origin. That means it's going to be something like this. Okay? And these h and k are going to be 0, 0 since their center is the origin. But we have to find the radius. All right? So if we have a center of 0, 0 and a point on the circle of 2, negative 5, we can find the distance between the center and the circle using the distance formula. So 2 minus 0 squared plus negative 5 minus 0 squared. That's going to get our distance, which is our radius. All right. right? So it's square root of 4 plus 25, which is the square root of 29, all right? So that's our radius. So remember, when it's going into our equation, though, it's r squared. So if we square this, that just turns it into a 29. So we just throw it in our formula. X squared plus y squared equals 29. All right? So hopefully that helps you with graphing circles and finding the equations of circles. Thanks for watching.